to true crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of We On That Ass News, ladies and gentlemen. I got a sad one for you guys today. We want to kind of do a deep dive and get into this story of this 9-year-old girl who was reported missing by her father earlier today. There was an Amber Alert that was issued, and it turns out that she was found unalive, deceased. And the person who is the suspect numero uno is her father, and her father's an interesting character. This guy actually is the CEO and founder of a successful coffee company. I want to go ahead and at least bring you guys into the news so you guys know what's going on, and then we're going to do a deep dive into the father, kind of try and figure out who this guy is. Once again, the father is all over the internet basically saying prior to his daughter going missing, and now we know unalived, he was always saying that this little girl was his inspiration, that, you know, his success was because of his daughter. Like, he was pretending to be a loving father, and we're all trying to kind of figure out, like, why did he take her life? Because listen, everybody's proven till proven guilty, right? You're innocent till proven guilty. I'm sorry, I had a long day. By the way, not to go off on a tangent, because you guys know I can. I literally did a 25-hour and 40-minute shift yesterday tracking down a case. I was able to catch a rape first suspect in 4 hours. 4 hours I was able to do it, and the rest of that time was getting search warrants and all that stuff. So I've slept a little bit today, but I'm very tired. But my sleep cycle is off, so I can't go to sleep. So I said, let me come online and give awareness to this beautiful little girl who unfortunately was a victim of a violent crime. But that's what my weekend looked like. A literal 25-hour shift without any sleep until I finally got home and got maybe 3 or 4 hours of shut-eye. Now, back to this story. So if I slur my words or anything, my body's kind of like discombobulated. My brain is a little aloof. So please forgive me, and hit that like button while you're at it too. All right, so, you know, he's kind of running around saying that his daughter is his inspiration. Well, guess what? He's innocent until proven guilty, but it looks like he made a lot of misstatements to the police, and he is the primary suspect. Let's listen to this.
Breaking news on ABC News Live Weekends. New York State Police say a 9-year-old girl reported missing has been found dead. Investigators say Melina Frattolin was reported missing Saturday night just before 10 p.m. in Lake George, a popular summer destination in the Adirondacks. Police sent out an Amber Alert earlier asking the public for help. Let's bring in ABC's Rena Roy. Rena, what is the latest going on right now?
Yeah, well, Ike, this is just such a tragic end to this frantic search for Melina Frattolin. Investigators announced they found her body in upstate New York in the town of Ticonderoga. And this comes after she was first reported missing by her father last night. And they're both residents of Canada. He allegedly told police she was abducted. Police issued an Amber Alert asking the public for help. But they say it turned out that there's no indication of an abduction. They say as the case progressed, law enforcement identified inconsistencies in the father's accounts of events and the timeline he provided. They tell us the investigation is ongoing, but that there is no threat to the public, Ike.
All right, so there are some very prominent state correction facilities up in that Lake George area. So I used to spend a lot of time up there when I worked for state corrections as a sex crimes investigator. I stayed in all of the nice hotels up there on the state of New York, of course, and I visited the attractions. There's a really nice outlet up there. It's a really nice vacation area for the summertime. Very beautiful part of New York. New York really is a very diverse and beautiful state when it comes to topography and environment. And so in that area, there's a lot of fluidity between the Canadian and the American border. Like, you could live in Canada and do your shopping. Like, it's not unusual that you're on the border and you want to go to the grocery store. You're not going to a grocery store in Canada. You're going to a grocery store in New York, and vice versa. Like, as a New Yorker, you might say, you know what? I like the Canadian Walmart better. They have things that we don't have in America. Let me go over there and buy it. And it's just very fluid. There's not a lot of border security. Like when you're going across the Canadian border, most people who are up there, you're expected to be a citizen of your respective country. You're expected to go home when you're done. So it's not unusual, as they said in the story, that the father and the daughter are Canadian citizens for them to be in New York, for those of you who are watching this in other parts of the country. So that's where we're at right now. I want to kind of like bring us into just a little bit more details as to why are the police looking at this guy? Like, what is it about his story that's making the police say, well, you know what? We think that there's foul play. And you always got to keep in mind, guys, when people give you these kind of like interesting stories that like we've heard before. Somebody's asking in the chat if I work for a specific police agency. We don't say what agency I work for on this channel because that is against the rules. I have permission to come on here and speak my piece about true crime. But if I say what agency I work for, it could be construed that my thoughts and opinions are that of that agency, as though like I'm acting as a spokesperson for that agency. So listen, I'm not hiding it. I'm just following the rules. You guys can figure it out if you want. Doesn't really matter to me. There's no secrets on the internet. Just want to throw that out there because some people think, oh, you never say where you work. You hide. No, I'm not hiding it. There's no secrets on the internet. I'm a public official. If you don't know who I am by now, you're just not interested in looking. I just can't say it. So anyway, when people say like the white van kidnapped her, come on. I mean, listen, do white vans kidnap people? Of course they do. But like, how often does that happen? And why would the kidnappers specifically only choose to use white vans? Science kind of, when you hear those things as an officer, as a detective, it raises a red flag. It doesn't mean that the person's not being honest. It doesn't mean that it literally could not have been this stereotypical trope of the white van kidnapping a person. You're not going to shut your investigation down because you're like, oh, it sounds fishy. You're just going to say, let me look a little bit more into this. Like, okay, is a white van? They have anything distinctive about it? What was the license plate? Were any, dents in it or logos or colors or something like that? Did it have commercial plates or did it have regular plates on? Like, you start asking these questions because the likelihood is like, it's still a possibility, but it's also a possibility the person is being deceptive. So anyway, let's keep going. Go ahead and bring in an article for us so we can read this. But first, I'm going to put a little bit of this news story on it. And then we're going to read the article because this article gives us a little bit more. Then we're going to kind of like jump into the Facebook, the Instagram, and X and see what those areas have to say about this. Let's do it.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. State police announcing a tragic ending to the Amber Alert issued early this morning. The 9-year-old girl they were trying to locate has now been found dead. The Amber Alert was initially reported that the young girl was abducted on the Northway. State police now telling us that there's no indication that any kind of abduction had occurred. They say that there's no threat to the public, but the update is raising more questions than answers about what happened. News 10's Amber Fisher has been following this. She joins us live in studio with the latest on the investigation. Good evening, Amber.
Thank you, Cassie. 9-year-old Melina Frattolin, who had been reported missing out of Lake George last night, has sadly been found dead in Ticonderoga today, according to New York State Police. An Amber Alert for her disappearance, issued early this morning, has now been canceled. Earlier today, I took a drive out to Ticonderoga and nearby Paradox, looking for answers. An Amber Alert was issued around 1:30 Sunday morning.
First of all, she's a beautiful little baby girl, and she did not deserve this. Beautiful little baby girl. Look how cute she is. And she did not deserve it. She was 9 years old. For a very long time, I was just a girl's dad before my son graced us with his appearance. He just rolled into our lives with his big old hands. He had the biggest hands as a little baby. He grew into it. I was like, oh my God, this kid's hands are crazy. I don't know what happened. What happened with my genes? He grew into his hands. His hands are perfectly but he just had some big old hands, like a small little body of big old hands. And he used to love grabbing things till he grew into those little hands. Now he likes throwing footballs and basketballs with those hands. But before he came along, I was just a girl's dad. 2 beautiful girls gracing my life, making every day a treat. I know what it is to have a 9-year-old girl. I've had 2 9-year-old girls. 9-year-old girls are the sweetest, most precious thing you can have in your life. I got a 6-year-old boy that throws tantrums, fights, beats people up, makes poopy jokes, the whole 9. My 9-year-old girls didn't do none of that. They wanted to cuddle, watch movies, play dolls, ride bikes, go to movies, just walk with you. Hey, let's go. So I'm going to the store. Can I come with you? And they just want to walk with you. They don't even want to talk. They just want to be in your presence. That's 9-year-old girls. Why would you want to take the life of your 9-year-old is beyond me. I could never understand it. They don't cry. They don't scream. They don't give you any problems. They try and take care of you. If you're thirsty, they'll go get you something to drink. They're amazing. Then they become teenagers and it's a different story. But they're amazing at 9-year-old. This is crazy that this guy would take his 9-year-old's life, allegedly. It's beyond me to understand that. So I'm hoping it's not the case. Let's keep going.
Troopers released a press release confirming that Melina was found dead and canceling the Amber Alert. According to the press release, Warren County 911 received a call.
Now, before we get into it, I wanted to do something and slip my brain because I still got that foggy, sleepy brain. Big shout out to Mia M. She says, $2 super chat. Where's the root beer barrel candy? We're saving that for tomorrow when we do our live stream when Stephen Stearns allegedly pleads guilty to something. Now, my one of my moderators, Obsidian, made a really good point. The point she made is that he may not be getting a plea deal. He may just be pleading guilty. We don't know. Most likely he's getting a plea deal because Stephen Stearns is a coward. So he has to be getting something for his guilty. But it's possible he might just say, I'm just going to take, responsibility for my actions. I'm taking the guilty verdict. Give me whatever sentence you want. We don't know. We'll figure it out tomorrow at 1300 hours Eastern time when the trial is set to begin. Make sure you join me when we go on this journey. Quite frankly, probably the biggest and most important show that we have done so far on this channel, when we most likely put to bed at least the CSAM aspect of his case. But I'm also telling you guys from my expertise, it's most likely that if he does a plea deal, the plea deal will also include the murder charge. So listen to me. You heard it here first from True Crime with Strategic. Don't forget that I'm the one who told you. Not that it matters anyway. Nobody needs to be first on these YouTube streets. As long as you're fair, accurate, and you have integrity, that's all that matters, right? But I'm telling you from my expertise, if Stephen Stearns take a deal tomorrow at 1300 hours Eastern time, he's most likely going to be taking a deal not just on the CSAM case, but also on the homicide case. Anyway, let's get back to this 9-year-old girl. Listen to the news.
At 9:58 Saturday night from 45-year-old Luciano Frattolin, who reported his daughter, 9-year-old Melina, missing with a possible abduction near exit 22 on the Northway. The initial Amber Alert had also reported that Melina was last seen in a white van heading southbound. According to state police, they are both residents of Canada.
Right.
The investigation was initially led by the Warren County Sheriff's Office and aided by various police agencies, including the New York State Police Canine and Aviation units. In a statement received by ABC from state police, they said, quote, "As the case progressed, law enforcement identified the inconsistencies in the father's account of events and the timeline he provided. Unfortunately, Melina was found dead in Ticonderoga on Sunday, but state police have not yet confirmed an exact location."
Right.
President of the policeman.
Right. So, listen, these folks who make these lies up, you got to be a pathological liar. You got to believe your lies for you to put forth a believable lie. So what will happen is they don't often think about what they're going to do before they do it. Even if it's premeditated, they're thinking about the action of taking the life. They're rarely ever putting in the same amount of thought and consideration in trying to get away with it, right? So the action happens most often, though, especially in this type of situation, it's going to be a spur of the moment thing, right? So now the life has been taken. Now there's the panic because once the life is taken, you feel as though you have but so much time to get rid of the body, right? Because people are going to ask questions like, we don't notice it now. But at every couple of minutes, every couple of hours, you have loved ones that are reaching out to you or reaching out to your loved ones, to the people in your circle. So you may not notice it now because you're not trying to notice it. But like if I stop for a moment during the day and I just listened, every couple of minutes, my kids' phones are going to ring. Their iPads are going to ring where grandparents like to FaceTime. So they're expecting FaceTime. So let's say I go off the cuckoo's nest and go crazy and something crazy happens. Those grandparents are calling FaceTime. Now, if the kids don't answer the phone FaceTime, those parents and grandparents are going to think something fishy happened. If I'm like answering just audio on the FaceTime, like, hello, the kids are not available right now. Call back next week. They're going to call the police. They're going to call the police and say, hey, listen, man, normally this is a stand-up guy, but I just called and he sounded very weird, okay? And this is totally out of the ordinary. So that's the stuff that now comes to the front of your brain when you've done something crazy like end somebody's life. You're thinking, oh my God, all the people who normally speak to this person are going to start asking questions soon. I got to get rid of this body. So the thought process of how to get away with it is done with a panic. So even when it's premeditated and they're thinking about taking a life, they're usually taking their time. They're kind of trying to figure it out, how they're going to make it happen. But the getaway is usually done in a panic. So it's like, I'll say a white van kidnapped her and went south. But you're not thinking about, how did she get in the white van? What time did she get in the white van? How long did it take me to call 911 after she got in the white van? Are there any injuries of me from me trying to protect my child from being taken and put into that white van? Where did it happen? Are there other people in the area where I say it, where I'm going to say it happened, who can contradict my testimony by saying, well, I was in that area at that time and I didn't see nobody get stolen in a white van? And then the most important question, is this even believable? Will anybody even believe what I'm saying when I say they got stolen in a white van in this area, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? These guys never put the thought into it. Sometimes I feel like they're just trying to hang on to, like, can I just get away with it for another minute or two? They're like, literally know, like, I think subconsciously they know they're going to get caught. And to them, it's like, okay, every minute that I'm free is precious. Can I throw these cops off just for an extra minute or two for me to figure out what I want to do? And I think there's a lot of consideration with what these people think. Like, should they take their own lives? Like, what should they do? Should they flee? Like, every minute that they get by trying to throw the officers off with their cockamamie story is a minute they get to think about what their next step is going to be. They're not really thinking, 5-10 years down the road, really. Big shout out to everybody who's watching right now. I got over 160 people in the chat. Please hit that like button. Support the channel. Let's keep going.
Benevolent Association of New York State, James McCartney, released a statement which reads in part, our PBA member New York State Forest Rangers coordinated the search for Melina. During this process, a NYS DEC environmental conservation officer, also a PBA member, discovered the girl's body while participating in a grid search in the Ticonderoga area. Limited details have come out about what happened to Melina. Due to jurisdictional factors, New York State Police have taken over the investigation from Warren County. The investigation into what happened to Melina is ongoing. When I was in Ticonderoga earlier tonight around 7, there was still a police presence on Route 74 in the area between Paradox and Ticonderoga. And tonight, the Warren County Sheriff's Office has also extended a thank you to the community. They say that their communications officers fielded over 800 calls from people who were trying to help. State Police plan to hold a press conference tomorrow. Stay with us at News 10 on air and online for this developing story.
You know what I love about the news, like local news, not national news. It's like, it's regular people, man. It's like, this is a shorty from around the block. You know what I mean? She got the tattoo on her arm and all that. And, she's professional. I'm not trying to take anything away from her. But it's like, there's something endearing to hear the news from somebody who looks like you. Somebody who you might have as a friend, you might date, you might have as a neighbor. It's like when you look at the national news, it's like so pre-produced, so packaged, so fake. It's kind of hard to feel like the people who are actually reading the news can relate to you on a personal level. Like they understand what you're going through. This young lady just looks like a regular person, you know what I'm saying? And that you get that feel with local news. Everybody's not beautiful. I'm not talking about her because she's a very beautiful woman, but everybody's not beautiful and manufactured. You'll have some of the most popular local news people are older people or overweight people or, less than attractive people. I like that. I like the realness of local news. They're more in touch with the community. I hate watching national news. Let's keep going. All right, let's get this out of here. Let's get to the article. Lake George, New York, 9-year-old Melina Frattolin, I think that's how you're saying Frattolin, who had been reported missing out of Lake George Saturday night, has been found dead. According to New York State Police, an Amber Alert for her disappearance issued early Sunday morning has now been canceled. So sad, man. So sad. According to state police, at about 9:58 p.m., the Warren County Sheriff's Office received a call from a man reporting his daughter, identified as Melina, missing with a possible abduction near exit 22 on the Northway. Now, what would your daughter be doing walking along the exit at 9:58 p.m.? She's 9 years old. She's supposed to be attached to you. She's not supposed to be more than 2 feet away from you. She's 9 years old. Yeah, 9 years old is not a baby, but we're talking about 9:58 p.m. on a country exit. What would she be doing not close to you? And let's keep going. Like, they don't think about the fact that you're telling these lies to experienced law enforcement people who've been sometimes doing these things longer than the complainant is even alive. Think about it. You got 20 years on the job and you got a 20-year-old complainant. You literally been a police officer longer than this person's been alive, and they think that you're going to buy this bullcrap story? Like, no, you got to understand, it's not that I'm a genius. I've seen this 1,000 times before. I got 18 and a half years in law enforcement, soon to be 19 years, coming up this October. I've seen so much already. Like, you come to me with something, I already picked apart what you're saying, because I've seen it already. And human beings, we're not really good. We all look unique, except for the rare occasion you find that doppelganger who looks just like you. We all look unique, but we follow patterns. It's the same crimes with just different faces. I can list for you just the 3 major ways people get sexually abused from what I do as a sex crimes detective: alcohol, stranger, families. That's it. That's literally it right there. Those are the 3. 95% of the cases I have are related to one of those 3 things, and some of them amalgamation of all 3 of them. You either went out drinking in some capacity, somebody took advantage of you because you're drunk. You're walking down the street minding your business, jogging in the middle of the night or walking down the street, whatever, mind your business, some crazy person pulls a knife to your neck or a gun to you, pulls you in the alleyway, does something bad to you. Or 3, somebody in your friends and family group, your uncle, your brother, your father, or your best friend who you thought you could trust, who you let over to your house so you guys have had movie night, but you're homies and you never looked at him that way. You looked at him like a brother. Well, this time he wanted to be more than a brother. Or he wanted to be more than a biological brother or father or whatever. It's those 3 things. Everything, 95% of what comes across my desk involves those 3 criteria. It might be one of those criteria or a mixture of 1 or 2 or all 3 of them. So when you come to an experienced law enforcement officer and you're telling them the story, oh, the white van took my daughter on exit 23 and now they're going southbound, it's like, okay, I heard this one before. What's the probability of this being real in all the 300 times I've heard this specific story before? Let's keep going, though. The initial Amber Alert had also reported the 9-year-old was last seen in a white van heading southbound. The caller was reportedly identified as Frattolin's father, 45-year-old Luciano Frattolin. Now, it's like an Italian name, but they had her race as Indian. Maybe her mother's Indian? I don't know. Is this guy Indian or Italian? I don't know. I'm just curious. Both the father and child were residents of Canada, police said. Initially, the investigation was led by the Warren County Sheriff's Office. However, as the case continued, law enforcement officials reportedly began to find inconsistencies in the father's account of events and the timeline he provided. What's this? Let's play it. We'll get back to it when that commercial's done. Melina Frattolin was found dead on Sunday in Ticonderoga, according to state police. At this time, there is no indication that an abduction occurred. An investigation is ongoing. Let's play this new clip.
We begin tonight with breaking news. State police announcing a tragic ending to the Amber Alert issued early this morning. The 9-year-old girl they were trying to locate has been found dead. The Amber Alert was initially reported that the young girl was abducted on the Northway. State police now telling us there is no indication that any kind of abduction had occurred. They say there is no threat to the public, but the update is raising more questions than answers about what happened. News 10's Amber Fisher joins us live in Ticonderoga with more on how this case has been unfolding over the past 24 hours. Amber, what can you tell us?
Thank you, Cassie. I'm here live at the intersections of Route 74 and 22. Unfortunately, Melina Frattolin was confirmed to be found dead in Ticonderoga. New York State Police tell us, quote, that there is no indication that an abduction occurred and that there is no threat to the public. An Amber Alert was issued around 1:30 this morning. At 4:18 this evening, New York State troopers released a press release confirming that Melina was found dead and canceling the Amber Alert. According to the press release, Warren County...
Aki stupid. She says strategic is your girl on the team. That's Jenny from the block right there, man. They gave Jenny a chance, man. I love News 10, man. Jenny, you work this case, girl. You do your thing, girl. Let me give her a little yay. You work that case, Jenny. She got the tats on her arm. She got the T-shirt, the hair in her face. She ain't playing. Jenny gonna solve this case.
911 received a call at 9:58 last night. 45-year-old Luciano Frattolin reported his daughter, 9-year-old Melina Frattolin, missing. The investigation was led by Warren County Police Department. In a statement ABC received from state police, they said, quote, as the case progressed, law enforcement identified inconsistencies in the father's account of events and the timeline he provided. Unfortunately, Melina was found dead in Ticonderoga. Limited details have come out about what played out in Ticonderoga. And there is a large police presence about 10 miles down the road from here, going past Paradox and heading towards Ticonderoga. Police would only tell us that it was an active crime scene and that the investigations are ongoing. We will keep you updated on our website, news10.com. Reporting live from Ticonderoga, Amber Fisher, News 10, ABC.
Thank you, Amber. This is a developing...
We appreciate you, Amber, a.k.a. Jenny from the block. Anyway, let's keep going. Let me leave her alone. She's doing a good job. We appreciate her. All right, so what we got going on? First, this is beautiful. Her mommy is definitely Indian. She's gorgeous. Gorgeous little girl. She deserved to be loved and nurtured and appreciated and respected. She deserved a chance at life to become a budding young woman, to go into this world and be a leader of tomorrow. You know, unfortunately, her father stole that away from her. He should be ashamed of himself, man. Beautiful, beautiful little baby girl. Let's see if there's another picture. It's the Amber Alert right there. This guy, whew. Well, the crime occurred in America, so we do have some like jurisdictional stuff, but I do believe that if it is determined to be a homicide and the father is the culprit of that homicide, I do believe that Canada will most likely extradite the father and will be able to put him in an American jail cell for the rest of his life, because no disrespect to Canada, but a lot of these countries outside of America, they're very lenient when it comes to homicides. And don't get me wrong, we have our issues in America too. We do have some states that are lenient as well, but in New York, it's very progressive in New York, but it's not progressive for serious crimes. So if you go steal something from a store, yeah, they might, let you stick around for a while. You go rob somebody, they'll be lenient with you. You have a gun, they'll be lenient with you. But New York is not lenient with murder. New York is not lenient with rape in the first degree. And that's the highest charge of rape. If you commit these A1 felonies, you will pay. You will go to jail for the rest of your life or a significant amount of your life. And that is definitely something that I'm happy about, that at least with all of our progressivism and all that, and not saying that negatively, I'm not talking about being a progressive as far as what you think about health care or taxes or whatever. I'm talking about criminal justice only. In all of the progressiveness when it comes to criminal justice in New York still takes serious crimes seriously. And if this guy, in fact, harmed his daughter, well, we know she's gone, but if he is the reason of her being gone, rest assured, justice will be served, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go over to this Facebook and see what we can find out of this here. So this is the father. And Luciano Frattolin, the worthless piece of crap. Oh, shoot, Chuck Miller, you going in. Killed his 9-year-old. He is the owner of Gambella, a coffee import company. I just read his biography on the company's website. The last paragraph made me want to throw up. Luciano currently spends, this is the paragraph that he's quoting right here. He says, Luciano currently spends as much time as he can in Montreal, Canada, with his beautiful daughter, Melina. I'm having a feeling, I'm sorry, I'm drinking this bubbly stuff, so I apologize. I'm having a feeling this might be like a custody thing, guys. What do you guys think? I have no idea. I've not read any information that had anything to do with custody. I haven't even heard anything about the mother so far, and I'm not throwing any shade at the mother. She's grieving right now. We don't know if she's alive. We don't know what's going on. We'll most likely find out soon what's going on with the mother, but I have a feeling this might be a custody situation. What do you guys think? Let's see if we put a little poll in here before we go any further. I want to know what you guys think. Start a poll. Is this a custody related murder? Let me know what you guys think about that. So let's keep going. As a light of his life, she is the inspiration for, well, everything. His pursuits for building a more equitable and just world are deeply guided by his determination that she will not have to endure the same social injustices that he encountered throughout his childhood. So what, you just decided to take her life? Maybe if somebody did that to you, we wouldn't be dealing with this tragedy right now. But you experience injustices in your life, so now your solution is to take your daughter's life. Doesn't make sense to me. Does that make sense? Listen, I don't know. Where's my sound effects, man? I'm always not prepared. Because even though the Madeline Soto case may be over soon, guess what? Make sense? We're not done with the sound effects. Does that make sense? We're going to keep this DTMS for the rest of our life.
Does that make sense?
Okay, let's keep going. So anyway, go ahead and fix this real quick. Give me a second. Perfect. So yeah, I don't know. Like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, what the father is thinking that he take his daughter's life. But let's keep going. Seeing the world through her eyes has also helped Luciano look for creative ways to reinforce and empower Melina to know, feel, and understand her own unique individual beauty and intellect, while also teaching her to celebrate those same virtues inherent in the world's diversity. On a lighter note, Melina has also taught Luciano to let go of his rigid tendencies to keep everything in perfect order. His love for Melina's messy art projects and chaotic ensemble of toys supersedes his love for a meticulously spotless home. Like, that's like weird to me. Now, somebody's going to say, Strategic, why is that weird? I'm going to tell you why it's a little weird to me. Because this is a company's website, and this is like the About Us, right? And why are you talking so much about your daughter? Like, the first part when he's like, you know, she's an inspiration for all of this, that's cool. But when you just start going a whole paragraph about her being messy, and it, you know, helps you with your meticulous need for cleanliness and order, that sounds weird to me. Somebody says it in the chat. I like that. Aaron Greer says controlling, red flag. I like that. It does seem a little bit controlling to me, like weird. And remember, he's the CEO, so he could write whatever you want. Nobody can tell him not to write that, you know? The PR person might say, it's a little bit a lot on your daughter. You want to just put something else, like we have good coffee? You know, but that he could say, nope, that's what I want, and then that's the end of it. They keep moving. So let's keep going. So this is the whole founder thing. So it sounds like a LinkedIn profile to me. He says Luciano Frattolin is an experienced entrepreneur with a proven track record of building diverse, high-performance businesses. Sounds like a LinkedIn. Like, I don't know. Like, listen, I am not a CEO of a business like that. I guess I'm the CEO of True Crime Strategic, right? Right? I guess so. But like I always thought like these founder kind of things is like supposed to be like about the business. But it sounds like he's talking about himself. With a background in humanities and social sciences, his formal education, together with his pragmatic understanding about the complexities of life, motivates him to maintain an understanding of the world grounded in a distinct cross-cultural ethos. So he sounds like a really radical person. Yeah, he's the one killing his daughter. Amazing. All right, let's keep going. The son of an Ethiopian mother and an Italian father. There we go. So he's multiracial. Or biracial, rather. Luciano was born in the small rural village of Gambella, with a childhood spent running through rows of crimson coffee buds in an Ethiopian family plantation, and the neoclassical architecture of his father's Milano. His vision of the world and his pursuits within reflect these hyphenated cultures. Interesting. You know who are some very beautiful people? All right, let's rephrase that. Let me just say what I wanted to say. Beautiful women. Ethiopian women are gorgeous. Very interesting. Ethiopian women are gorgeous. That just dawned on me how beautiful Ethiopian women are. But whatever, let's keep going. All right. In February 2019, Luciano was met with an unfortunate event that severely affected his well-being. Though his road to recovery was long and arduous, he remained determined. As he persevered through his recovery, he realized that he was no longer lured by profit and instead decided to invest in people and ideas that resonated with the promise of futurity, creativity, and community well-being. Luciano currently spends most of his time in Montreal. This is the paragraph that we read already where he talks about his daughter. So this is the coffee company. Let's see what the homepage looks like. Our products. Let's go to the product page. To taste our unique product means experiencing the true origins of the coffee itself. See below for more information about our coffee and our farms in Gambella, Ethiopia. Harvesting method, hand-picked coffee type, organic green beans, farm size 5,000 hectares, region Gambella, zone, Kafa. So I think he's like a distributor. Like he grows, he probably sources from his own farm and from other places as well. And he probably sells to large companies. So I don't think he makes the coffee and sells it like in a shop. I think he's like a distributor, basically. He's a wholesaler and a grower. Okay. It says contact us. Let me send them a little message. Did you kill your daughter? Did you kill your daughter? It's a good question. Let's keep going. All right. Some Facebook action. I mean, this is on Instagram. This is the main page. We already covered that. This is the Devil's Playground, Twitter. That's what I call it, at least. JLR is covering this. Let's see what JLR has to say. He posted this. His 9-year-old Melina Frattolin traveled from Canada, Lake George, New York for a vacation. Her father, Luciano Frattolin, falsely reported her being abducted by someone in a white van, triggering an Amber Alert. It was a lie. She was never abducted. She was found dead in Ticonderoga. Looks like Luciano Frattolin murdered his own daughter or involved with her murder. He owns a coffee company called Gambella. That's JLR right there. Big shout out to JLR. I like him. I watch his stuff all the time. Listen, man, I'm a true crime connoisseur, man. I watch a lot. Big shout out to Dirty Diana. Dirty Diana! Dirty Diana says, True Crime Strategic. Hey, Strategic, I'm live streaming now. Would you mind if I play your live, please? Well, you can't do that. You can't live stream somebody else's live. I appreciate you. You know, I'd love to come on your show. I mean, I'd love to see your show and maybe, you know, show you some love, but you can't live stream somebody else's lives. Yeah, I would never do that to you, and I wouldn't do that to any other content creator. And this is no shade. Very kind person. Thank you for asking. That's very kind of you to ask as well. Very classy and respectful of you. But it's against YouTube etiquette to live stream another small content creator's live stream. Certainly, big shout out to Dirty Diana. She has her own show. You guys go check that out. And the right thing to do is to say, hey guys, I got a content creator that I really like. His name is True Crime Strategic. Why don't you guys go over there and check his channel out? So we're showing love to Dirty Diana. Please go check out her channel. I didn't even know she had a channel, so I'll go check it out when I'm done with my live stream. But check her out and see what she's got going on over there. And hopefully she'll shout us out on her channel too. But she's a member, man. She's been around for a little while, so I appreciate her. But yeah, what Erica B says, at least she asked. Yes, she did. She did ask. And I was honest with my answer. Dirty Diana. Let's keep going. JLR says, oh, interesting. Police say inconsistencies in the father's statements, and they don't believe 9-year-old Melina was abducted. Okay, let's get back to the Twitter. Breaking news, State Police say the body of Melina has been found in Ticonderoga. They say they were inconsistency of father's story. So I don't think we got anything like really new. I think tomorrow is going to be a press conference. We'll definitely cover the press conference so long as it doesn't overlap with the Madeline Soto trial where the plea deal is going to happen. That's going to be our major focus there. So if that press conference happened a little bit earlier than the Madeline Soto, we'll cover that one, and then we'll cover the Madeline Soto press conference. But certainly I'm curious as to where the police are in this case. And I definitely want this beautiful little girl to get the justice that she deserves. Yeah, it was definitely sad that that this father would take his daughter's life, man. Wow. Let's see what else we got going on before I let you guys go. I think there's another story I wanted to cover. Let me go to the email address. Let's check out the research crew email. See what they got going on. Oh, okay. So we got apparently. So we'll go ahead and transition into this, or we'll make it a separate show. We'll do a separate show on this one. So apparently, Danielle Martel's mother has spoken to CBC News, and I think like some additional information has come out. This is the Jack and Lily case. So we're going to go ahead and check that one out. And then also Stephen Stearns and having looking at what the research crew is sending me. A lot of interesting stuff. But I'm not going to cover it on this show here. I don't want to talk about something else. I want to let this stand alone on its own. I think she deserves to just have this show solely about her. So big shout out to Light Chaser with a $5 super chat. We're going to get out of here now. Let me just make sure I shouted everybody out. Guys, remember we have a Patreon. Please consider checking out the Patreon. If you click our Linktree link, it has a link to all of our properties, right? So the membership, if you want to join as a member, you don't know how to do it on YouTube, hit the link, the Linktree link, and you'll be able to get that members only link, and you'll be able to join the membership. Also, we have the Patreon, where we are just a little bit more personal, man, and we get exclusive content on the Patreon, separate for the most part from what you get on the membership. We also have links to our store. We have amazing merchandise. I think we have some of the best merchandise on YouTube, but maybe it's just a pride that I have for the True Crime Strategic store. So consider going on that store and getting yourself some True Crime swag, man. We got all kinds of stuff. We got True Crimes and it's with strategic eyes. Any variation you can think of it is on there. We also have some really cool pictures with cats. So if you're a cat lover, if you're an animal lover, you find some really cool sweaters and hats with cats that have been integrated with the True Crime Strategic logo. I love our merch. People love it. Some people said, Aunt Ray says your merch is the best. So we got you. We're definitely trying to put out some good quality stuff for you. Before we go, let's just end this poll here as well. So ended the poll, and 75% believe that the unaliving of Melina is custody related. Custody related. I want to thank everybody who actually participated in the poll as well. So anyway, make sure you like and subscribe on your way out the door. Please subscribe to the channel and support us. I'm going to try and get some sleep, because my sleep cycle is kind of off, and you guys can hear it in my voice. Like I sound like I'm sleepy a little bit. I apologize for that. But it was a whirlwind day today. We had some really heinous allegations. Something terrible happened to somebody who did not deserve it. They did nothing that should have resulted in them being attacked in the way that they were attacked. And because of their bravery and coming forward and the hard work of me and my team, because it's a team effort, we were able to get this guy in 4 hours. And now this guy is still waiting to be arraigned. And he's going to be charged with rape in the first degree. He's going to face 20 years to life in prison, and he deserves it, all right, for what he did to that woman. Now, everybody is innocent till proven guilty. I haven't given you any details about this case. I've only told you numbers and that the person has been arrested by me. But I worked 25 hours straight. There was not a moment in that 25 hours I was able to take a nap or close my eyes. When you get big cases like that, it's a marathon to get this person into custody and before a judge. We had to do a lot of search warrants and stuff. It is what it is, right? But I'm so happy. It never angers me when I have to work hard like that. I'm always proud to work hard like that, because I know that, you know, some people on YouTube is going to hate, because there's always haters, and there's a lot of jealous people out there, you know, who live vicariously through other people's eyes, and they hate to see when somebody else is doing it. I don't give a damn. We are doing God's work. That's how I look at what I'm doing. I don't look at it as a job. I look at it as God's work, God's justice. When you take people who are doing evil things to other people, when you catch a father who murdered his own daughter, when you're arresting a father who's stooping his daughter, a stranger who takes advantage of another person, and you take that person off the street and you prevent that person from doing these heinous things to other people, you're doing God's work. So I'm proud to stay up 25 hours straight, working my butt off. And that doesn't count the time it took for me to drive home. So we're talking about 27 hours plus the time it took for me to take a shower, 28 hours straight. Then finally I take a 3-4 hour nap after 28 hours. I don't care one bit. I do all of that with a smile. Why? Because we're doing God's work. And for all the YouTubers who take the time out their life, the Grizzlies, the Plunders, etc., the JLRs, whether you like these folks or not, whether you like me or not, for all the YouTubers who take the time to come on this platform, and whether this is their job or they're monetized or they're not monetized, it doesn't matter, to cover these stories, they're doing God's work too. They're doing God's work in their own way. Whenever we stand up for victims, we're doing God's work. The fact that this little girl is on my screen right now, being shown to thousands of you, it's God's work. So justice for Melina. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.
Welcome to True Crime with Strategic